Okay, well, welcome, Leisha. I understand that you have some problems you wanted to discuss today with a new job that you have.
Yes.
So if you want to tell me a little bit about that, and we'll see what we can do.
Well, as we uh, said earlier, I've actually been a counselor for a year now. But this year, they want me to split my time between two schools. They're approximately 20 miles apart, and the system has never actually had to split the counselors before, so there's no established schedule to go by. So I'm kind of on my own as far as coming up with a schedule. Um, have to figure out how to divide my time between them, and among all the duties that us counselors have to do, I'm mainly concerned with scheduling guidance classes, individual counseling, and needs-based counseling. So it's a little overwhelming. I want to do well by the children, so I need to make sure I can meet the needs of both schools.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. You do have some experience as a counselor, but this year you'll be working at two schools, and you don't have an established schedule. So they did not tell you how they want you to split your time. It's up to you to make your own schedule.
Correct.
So we need to figure out a way for you to feel like you're splitting your time up between these two schools in a way that you're meeting all the needs, and you don't really know where to get started. I guess you're saying you're feeling overwhelmed with this process.
Correct.
Okay. Now you said you had a year experience as a counselor. So when you worked as a counselor last year, you were only working with one school.
Correct.
Okay, so you did have a schedule that you used there. So one of the things that we can do is you can take the schedule you used at that school, and we're going to use that as a kind of groundwork. And then to figure out a way to make that work for two schools, we may need to find some other resources. One of the things that I think might be helpful is if you could talk to a counselor who does work with two schools. I know you said that this is new for your county, but I am aware of some counselors in a neighboring county that do this. So do you think that would be something you'd be open to doing?
Well, that would be great. Could you get me their contact information?
I absolutely can do that, and
Wonderful.
that would be great. They can give you some ideas of how they split their time. Another thing, have you talked with your principals yet to find out the needs of your schools?
No. No.
Okay, so that would probably be a good thing also, is maybe just have a sit-down meeting with each principal. You can find out more about the demographics of each school and find out, you may see that one school needs you more time than the other school does. So it would probably be a good idea if you could set up a meeting with those principals. You might look at the population of each school. That could be an area that could be helpful. If you have a larger population at one school over the other, you may find that you need to spend a little extra time there. How about talking with last year's counselors at those schools? Have you talked with them any at all?
No. Really wasn't sure if I would be able to do that, but I guess since they're actually still in the system, I could probably talk to them and find out from them, maybe, and the principal.
Yeah, so that way you can just see what last year's established schedules were. Obviously, they'll have to have some changes made because, you're splitting your time. But it would be good to see how they did that last year, see what worked well for them, and you can probably build on that. So looking at your goals, we're going to see if we can set up some meeting with a counselor in another county that does work with two schools at one time. We're going to see about meeting with your principals. We're going to see about talking to last year's counselors. Do those feel like some good goals that you think would be helpful?
Feels a lot better.
So that means you're already feeling a little less overwhelmed?
A little less.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a good plan to start. I think that for us working together, we will need to have some follow-up. We want to set up these meetings, and then we want to continue to meet with each other and see how you're making progress, because school's about to start soon. So let's set up a meeting together for next week.
Okay.
All right, and I'll get you that contact for the counselor, and we'll get in touch next week.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thanks.